Today we're diving deep into the evolution of Nami's arsenal, breaking down the foreshadowing and progression of her weapons. You know, Nami's weapons have come a long way, and her latest gear packs a punch that could even rival the four emperors. There's a lot of buzz suggesting that her weapons will continue to level up in the future. Despite her cute looks and sexy charm, she might just be leading the pack when it comes to firepower. If you find yourself nodding along with my analysis, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. If I've overlooked your favorite Nami moment, spill the tea in the comments, will ya? Heads up though, this video contains the latest spoilers, so you've been warned. So, let's get into it. Remember the very first weapon Nami used when she first appeared during the Buggy arc? Yup, it was a rope. You might be thinking, a rope against pirates? But in Nami's hands, even a simple rope could be a formidable weapon. She used the rope with lightning speed to snatch up Buggy's scattered body parts when he was sliced into pieces. Oh, and let's not forget Luffy, who found himself tied up in Nami's rope. Talk about letting your guard down, devil fruit users. Adding insult to injury, Buggy was blown away by Luffy in his mini-Buggy state after losing most of his body parts. It makes you wonder. Perhaps Buggy had a thing for being tied up by Nami. From the Buggy arc until the beginning of the Alabasta arc, Nami's weapon of choice was a staff that could be assembled into a 3-section staff. More for self-defense than fighting, perhaps? Since her introduction, Nami has been knocking out countless guys with that staff. Buggy's underlings, Arlong's crew, and yes, even Usopp. Although most of them were low-level baddies, she managed to take them out from behind without being noticed. Such sneaky, ninja-like moves, right? It seems like Nami was already showing signs of the kunoichi in training that she would later become in Wano country. The Clima Tact, a weapon crafted by Usopp at Nami's request, was created with her desire to be at least a little bit helpful to Vivi. But this Clima Tact turned out to be more of a party trick item than a weapon. In her tense battle scene with the assassin Miss Doublefinger, Nami unintentionally made pigeons appear and played with water tricks. You might have sympathized with Nami as she helplessly slammed the Clima Tact into the ground, shouting, "Can I really win with this?" However, even this party trick Clima Tact could display enough power to overwhelm Miss Doublefinger in the hands of our weather expert Nami. While the Clima Tact doesn't pack much of a punch on its own, Nami's freakishly extensive weather knowledge turned it into a weapon capable of unique moves like creating thunder and creating illusions with mirages. The most powerful move of this party trick Clima Tact is Tornado Tempo, the strongest trick that Usopp came up with. Despite its adorable pigeon coming out appearance, the Tornado Tempo packs a punch that rivals a cannon. But Usopp, the creator of the Clima Tact, seemed oblivious to the potential power of this weapon. Way to go, Nami, for demonstrating excellent sense in mastering the party trick Clima Tact as a weapon. Nami's killer move, the Happiness Punch, was first introduced after the Alabasta arc. After the big showdown, our peeping pals Luffy and the gang witnessed this nosebleed-inducing showstopper in the royal bathhouse. One swift towel drop in the bath and every guy who sees it will be instantly out cold, nose gushing like a fire hydrant. But that's not all. There's a hefty price tag of a whopping 100,000 berries per peep. Though Nami's Happiness Punch only made a couple of appearances, bet there are loads of male fans out there just itching for more, right? By the way, Nami's Happiness Punch would cost you a staggering 1 billion berries. Moving on post-Skypiea arc up until the Sabaody Archipelago arc, Nami wielded the perfect Clima Tact. Originally designed as a party trick, the perfect Clima Tact was upgraded into a battle-ready weapon. The game changer here? It's the dial that Usopp brought back from Skypiea. These peculiar shellfish can store and release elements like heat, water, and electricity. Thanks to these dials, Nami's party trick got supercharged, transforming it into a powerful weapon that's no joke in a fight. Our perfect Clima Tact truly shined during the Enies Lobby arc against Khalifa. Nami unleashed 2 new tricks to overpower Khalifa, the user of the Bubble Fruit. The first was the Fata Morgana. Utilizing the strong cold generated by the cool charge, this trick is an advanced application of the Mirage Tempo. creating illusions using layers of air. Sure, the illusion of young Nami is cute, but nothing beats the allure of the real deal, right? Her second trick is the Thunderlance tempo. She connects a dark cloud created by the dark cloud tempo to the Clima Tact with electricity, piercing through enemies with a bolt of lightning like a lance. Even the brains of CP9, Khalifa, was no match for Nami's calculated attacks. Her catchphrase during this fight, "No matter how strong you are, my forecasts never miss." Wasn't that really cool? This fight became the catalyst that led to her alias, the Cat Burglar, gaining worldwide recognition. But then, at a Sabaudi archipelago, our Straw Hat crew got scattered by Bartholomew Kuma. Nami was sent off to the Weatheria, an island dedicated to weather sciences. Over 2 years, she upgraded her Clima Tact with advanced weather science. With the cutting-edge technology of Weatheria, the Weather Egg, the Clima Tact evolved into the Sorcery Clima Tact. The Weather Egg, as it sounds, hatches weather, allowing for clouds and thunderstorms to be summoned at will. Unlike the previous Clima Tact that was environment dependent, this nifty Weather Egg allows her to use her moves without restrictions. Given Nami's ability to summon rain clouds anytime, even the Flame Alchemist would be rendered useless. Don't you think? Did you know that the Sorcery Clima Tact is the only Clima Tact that our man, God Usopp, hasn't been involved in upgrading? But hang on, Usopp's not the type to let things slide just like that. You see, Nami's weapon goes through another upgrade in the Zowl arc, and Usopp's Pop Greens plays a big role in it. By utilizing the explosive growth feature of Pop Greens, the stick could freely contract and extend with just a small push or pull. Quite a nifty stick, huh? And the surface processing? That's the handiwork of none other than our pervert cyborg, Frankie. So the Sorcery Clima Tact Improved is basically the culmination of collaboration between the King of Sniping and the King of Perversion, an ultimate weapon, so to speak. When Usopp charged Nami for the materials, she conjured up a mirage with her Mirage Tempo and cleverly escaped without paying. True to her Cat Burglar moniker, that was one slick move. Although Nami's upgraded Sorcery Clima Tact Improved is indeed powerful, it didn't make a dent against the Four Emperors' Big Mom. Enter Big Mom's thundercloud homie Zeus. Zeus, who was on the brink of being devoured by the new homie Hera, jumped ship to the Clima Tact to escape. In doing so, he evolved into Homie Clima Tact. Zeus requested a new name, to which Nami responded with Cotton. Seems Zeus didn't take a shine to that one, insisting, "I'm Zeus." Now, the Homie Clima Tact is even more versatile, taking on any form at Zeus's whim. One of the most impressive forms is Raite, a massive attack even Big Mom used. With Zeus in control, Raite evolves into an all the more terrifying attack that doesn't stop until it hits its target. With the Homie Clima Tact, it seems Nami's achieved a level of attack power that can rival Four Emperors. The fusion of Zeus and Nami's weapon might be a hint at further evolutions to come. Interestingly enough, there's a chance Nami could command not just Zeus, but also Prometheus in the future. Zeus, along with other homies, are fragments of Big Mom's soul, given life by her soul fruit ability. These fragments also tend to inherit Big Mom's personality traits. The fact that Zeus, lured by his favorite thunderclouds, became Nami's servant can be attributed to Big Mom's gluttonous nature. If other homies also inherit Big Mom's personality, they might be tempted by their favorites and betray Big Mom. Since Nami can control not only thunder but also heat, she could lure Prometheus with heat, just like she did with Zeus. If Prometheus can also be incorporated into the Clima Tact, it could lead to a further boost in power. Today, we've covered Nami's arsenal through the ages. With Zeus on her side, it won't be long before Nami earns the title Woman Who Commands the Weather. If Nami can make not just Zeus, but also Prometheus her servant, she would indeed possess a power to rival Four Emperors. Let's look forward to seeing Nami defeat even tougher enemies with her drastically powered up Homie Clima Tact. Which of Nami's weapons is your favorite, folks? This channel posts summaries, explanations, and ranking videos related to One Piece. If you like One Piece, we would be happy if you could support us by subscribing to our channel and commenting.
Today, I've got a mind-blowing theory to share with you. What if Nami's real name is actually Nerona Nami? There are numerous mysteries in One Piece about Nami's origins and her family tree. Recently, links to the Nerona family in the Oykot Kingdom have emerged. These theories might just open up a whole new world of One Piece that you've never known. And hey, if you've got a different take, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Just a heads up, this video includes spoilers up to chapter 1086, so proceed with caution. Let's dive right in. Meet Nami, the beautiful navigator of the Straw Hat Pirates, known as the Cat Burglar. But there's a mystery tied to her birth, which makes us wonder about her connection to Imu and the Nerona family. Nami once said, "I was found under a bridge." To that, Genzo said, "That's a lie," from Belle Marais. "When I was about to close my eyes and die, I saw Nojiko holding you." As Genzo, the resident officer of Kokoyashi Village, mentioned in episode 77, Nami was just 1 year old when she was found by Belle Marais, a former Marine, and taken in as a war orphan. It's also noted in Nami's Vivre card that she was found during a war in the Oykot Kingdom. However, that's about all we know about Nami's origins. Her family lineage and the full story of the Oykot Kingdom where she was found remain shrouded in mystery. So let's dive deeper into the Oykot Kingdom and Nami's lineage, piecing together what we know and exploring theories about her past. Nami, the character we all know and love, was found in the Oykot Kingdom. According to the Vivre card, it's a kingdom in the East Blue. Now, if Oykot Kingdom is indeed in the East Blue, it's quite an unusual nation. Well, Monkey D. Garp once said, "The weakest? Hardly. The East Blue is a symbol of peace." This was mentioned in the special bonus Chapter 0 of the movie Film Strong World. And true to his words, we've seen peaceful daily life in places like Luffy's home village of Fuchsia, the royal capital of the Goa Kingdom, Usopp's Syrup Village, and Zoro's Shimotsuki Village. So when you hear that a war was so intense in the Oykot Kingdom that it left 2 young girls orphaned at the ages of 3 and 1, and even Marines were battered, you know it's an outlier in the East Blue. Nami, hailing from the unique Oykot Kingdom, astonishingly batters Luffy, who should be immune to physical blows until he's bruised and bloody. This suggests that in the world of One Piece, Nami might possess the ability to use haki. Remember when she said, "Don't pamper me, Jinbe?" And Jinbe was like, "Whoa, is that Conqueror's haki?" In chapter 1058, Jinbe jokingly mistook Nami for someone with Conqueror's haki. This sparked a wildfire of speculation among fans on social media. Though it could be just a comedic element, remember how Zoro, initially suspected by the former Emperor Kato of having Conqueror's haki, actually turned out to have it? So, after such depictions in chapter 1058, the idea of Nami having Conqueror's haki isn't entirely off the table. Furthermore, Conqueror's haki seems to be hereditary, observed in Luffy's lineage, Roger's, and even Kato's. So, if Nami does possess this power, it hints at her family belonging to a line that bears Conqueror's haki, possibly even royal blood. The mysteries and abnormalities of her birthplace, Oykot, also suggest a connection between the secrets of Oykot and Nami's ancestry. Now, let's dive deeper into Nami's family background. I'm leaning towards the conclusion that Nami is from a royal family. Even more intriguing, I'm speculating that she might be related to the Celestial Dragons, possibly descending from one of the original 20 royal families. My reasoning is based on these 3 points. First, the commonalities between Nami and the princess or royals in the One Piece world. Second, the design elements hinting at her royal lineage. And third, the connection between Nami, Lion, and Sweden. Let's explore each of these reasons in detail. Alright folks, let's dive into that first evidence about Nami and her striking similarities with the princesses and the royalty in the world of One Piece. In One Piece, characters often follow a naming rule based on the category they belong to. For instance, the top brass of the Beast Pirates are named after playing cards. Big Mom's kin have names related to sweets. The 7 warlords of the sea and seraphims, they're named after animals. Now, let's look at the princesses. In Dressrosa, we have Princess Scarlet, named after San Britannia. and Viola named after a type of violet. Rebecca is named after a kind of rose. Tantada's Princess Mancheri? That's from Mon Cheri, a kind of peony. Princess Shirahoshi of Ryukyu Kingdom is named after a cactus, and Princess Vivi from Alabasta? Also named after a type of violet. So there's a clear pattern of naming princesses after flowers. And what about our dear Nami? Well, there's a rose variety named Severodon Nami. So she fits right into this flowery naming pattern. But there's more. Remember episode 230, where Sanji was chasing a south bird and showed his distaste for bugs? Fast forward to episode 1067, and we see Bonnie, part of the worst generation, fainting at the sight of a swarm of bugs. Both Sanji, from the royal Vinsmoke family of the Germa Kingdom, and Bonnie, the daughter of former King Bartholomew Kuma of the Sorbet Kingdom, share this dislike for bugs. And guess what? Nami also hates bugs. Moreover, Nami shares a floral name category with the princesses, and the bug-hating trait with Sanji and Bonnie, both with royal ties. This leads us to speculate that Nami might very well be of royal blood. Moving on to the second piece of evidence suggesting Nami's royal connections. It's all in the designs. In Chapter 671's cover, Nami is portrayed as Nami Dorella, dropping a glass slipper and running barefoot. This is a clear nod to Cinderella, who ends up marrying into royalty. Not to mention, Nami Dorella sports a crown. In Chapter 699's cover, we see the Straw Hat crew with a dragon. While the rest of the crew are dressed as knights, only Nami is depicted in a regal, princess-like outfit right next to Luffy, who's dressed as a king. And let's not forget Eiichiro Oda's comment in Volume 13, stating that dragons are creatures closest to gods. This cover art paints a picture of Luffy, aspiring to be the king of the sea, alongside a dragon, which is a godlike creature, and Nami in her princess attire. It is a complete coincidence that the god and the dragon, which hint at celestial dragons, and Nami, who seems to be a princess, are depicted together. Dear Nami, I've never met you before, but you're... What a relief. Shirahoshi. Really? Maybe it's because our circumstances are but similar. Nami. In Chapter 627, Shirahoshi, a princess herself, feels an inexplicable sense of comfort around Nami, mentioning that they share similar circumstances. Although one could argue that they both lost parents to fishmen and had restricted childhoods, it could also hint at Nami's royal heritage, like Shirahoshi. Remember, Shirahoshi isn't just a princess, she also inherits the title of Poseidon, a godlike entity. And when Nami and Shirahoshi meet, even the Sea Kings talk about whales rejoicing at the reunion of two kings, with a whale depicted smiling in their presence. Considering all these hints, it's not too far-fetched to speculate that Nami might belong to a royal family, and perhaps even have ties to the god. So there you have it. Nam could very well be a princess, or even more, a descendant of the divine celestial dragons. Alright folks, let's dive into the final piece of our puzzle about Nami, Lion, and Sweden in the One Piece world. Ta-da! Nami! It's ready! A haute couture from the Belle Marais brand. Belle Marais. That's what Belle Marais said in episode 77 when she made a dress for Nami, which, guess what, had a lion embroidered on it. Fast forward to episode 144, and we have Nami drawn as a dancer alongside Vivi, who's connected to the celestial dragons. And what's in the background? Ancient ruins shaped like a lion. But that's not all. In the cover of episode 263, Nami is rocking a t-shirt with a lion mark. And in episode 1026, Nami is seen making clothes for lions and cubs alongside Leo, who has ties to the Don Quixote family, a branch of the Celestial Dragons. Seems like the Nami-Lion combo, especially with those linked to the Celestial Dragons, is more than just a coincidence. Now, here's a kicker. Nami's associated country is Sweden, and what do we find on the Swedish flag? A lion. Plus, the Swedish royal palace is dotted with lion statues, symbolizing royalty. So when we see lions frequently associated with Nami, who is linked to Sweden, it hints that lions might represent royalty. Adding more to this, in episode 300, in a cover story series, we hear about Fairy Verth, a moon believed to be the original abode of the gods, targeted by Enel. And guess what? This moon has an ancient city sharing the same name as Enel's hometown, Bilka. But here's a fun fact. Bilka is actually the name of a real-life archaeological site in Sweden, dating back to the Viking era, a period that heavily inspired One Piece. Now, remember when Oda was asked what devil fruit Nami would eat if she had to? He said she'd get Rumble Rumble fruit, which is the same one as Enel, the self-proclaimed god. And Bilka, considered the abode of gods, exists in Sweden, Nami's image country. So Nami being frequently depicted with lions, a symbol of Swedish royalty in all these connections, makes you wonder if Nami could be of royal blood, possibly even from the lineage of the original 20 royal families, maybe even a family of gods. So far, we've theorized that Nami could be of royal blood, possibly even from the lineage of the original 20 royal families, the celestial dragons. Now, let's delve into the next 4 elements surrounding Nami. 1. Her control over Zeus as a partner. 2. The cover stories of episodes 81 and 845. 3. The connection between the Straw Hat and Nami. And 4. The existence of Anne, Nami's original concept. Looking at these, it's highly probable that Nami could belong to the same family as Imu. Could she be a descendant of the Nerona family? Let's explore. Firstly, let's talk about Nami's partnership with Zeus. In episode 890, Nami transforms Zeus, a thundercloud, into her servant, and by episode 1081, she's completely tamed him. Zeus, named and capable just like the omnipotent Greek god who controls thunder, is now under Nami's command. This means that Nami is followed by an existence who has the name of a god. This situation is somewhat parallel to Imu, who reigns over the self-proclaimed gods, the celestial dragons, and the highest authority, the 5 elders. Next, we dive into that second element, the cover stories of episodes 81 and 845. In episode's 81 cover story, we see Nami, Ojiko, and Belmare along with a dog enjoying lunch. Notably, young Nami and the dog are the only ones eating spaghetti. Underneath the dog, there's a cardboard with Mandarin written on it. This could suggest a link between Nami and Imu. Mandarin can mean commander or leader. During the Jing dynasty in China, bureaucrats known as mandarins held leadership roles. Also in English, Mandarin implies a commander or leader. So could this cover story be hinting at Nami being a leader? Of course, since Belmare owns an orange grove, Mandarin could simply refer to the Mandarin orange variety. It might seem like a stretch, but there are instances where characters and text in cover stories foreshadow future events. For example, episode 421's cover story, Robin is playing billiards with a koala. Nearby, there are billiard balls with the numbers 3, 5, and 8. During the 2-year training, Robin spent time with the Revolutionary Army, notably with Sabo, Koala, and Hack, matching the numbers and characters perfectly. Moreover, in episode 124's cover story, Sanjay is depicted with a secret sticker, with a sticker above it bearing the number 1830. Interestingly, 1830 was the year of a revolution in France, Sanjay's image country, and the last year a king was used. Sanjay indeed had a secret closely tied to his birth and significant to the story. So this seemingly minor text might be a significant foreshadowing for the future. Furthermore, in episode 845's cover story, Nami is sitting like a queen on a chair with 5 cats tending to her. I understand as the creator of the world wishes, St. Marcus Mars. This imagery links to Imu, the supposed creator of the world who sits on the empty throne and is served by the 5 elders. These cover stories subtly hint at Nami being connected to a world leader. All right, folks, let's dive into our third point, the iconic Straw Hat and Nami. Remember that scene from episode 81 where Luffy places his precious straw hat on Nami? Luffy, help me. Nami's plea. And Luffy's reply? Of course! Monkey D. Luffy. Now, it's not just Nami who's had the honor of wearing Luffy's hat. Usopp and Robin have too. Usopp held onto it during the Davy back fight when Luffy sported an afro. And Robin? Before joining the crew, she used her powers to swipe it from Luffy. But here's the thing. Nami's the only one Luffy personally placed his hat on. There's more. Nami repaired the hat after Buggy's attack and even stitched a Vivre card into it. She's pretty much the Straw Hat's keeper. But wait, there's a twist. Even Imu, shrouded in mystery, seems to be looking after a giant straw hat in Pangaea Castle. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is there a hidden connection between Nami and Imu? Now let's talk about the fourth point, Nami's origins. Ever heard of Romance Dawn? It's the one-shot manga, considered the blueprint for One Piece. The character Anne from this work, she bears striking similarities with Nami, from her outfit to her looks. Coincidence? I think not. Remember when Vivi said in episode 130, "This person, she doesn't just predict the weather theoretically, it's as if she feels it with her body." Nami's got this uncanny ability to feel the weather, almost like she's in tune with it. As explained earlier, the abilities and names of One Piece characters are based on myths from around the world. In Mesopotamian mythology, there's a weather god named An. And guess what? Nami's initial concept, Anne, aligns perfectly with her weather-controlling abilities. The plot thickens. An is the child of a god named Anshar, who in turn is the offspring of the primordial sea deity Tiamat, a symbol of creation. Ring any bells? Imu, perhaps? Flip Imu name and you get Umi, Japanese for sea, linking back to Tiamat. But there's more. Tiamat is also known as Umu. Sounds a bit like Emu, right? And Tiamat's not your typical deity. Some say a dragon, others a bringer of floods. Suppose from these circumstances that the model for Emu is Tiamat, who is said to have taken the form of a dragon. Then it might explain why the celestial dragons under Emu. And Nami, when spelled backwards in Roman letters, means I'm on, tying back to the weather god An. So here's the theory. Emu equals Tiamat. The descendants Emu, who are the people of the Nerona family, equals Tiamat's child Anshar. Nami equals Anshar's child An. Connecting all these dots, it's not too far-fetched to speculate that Nami could be a descendant of Emu, and from the Nerona family. We've been diving deep into the theory that Nami is a descendant of the mysterious Emu, belonging to the Nerona family lineage. Imagine this, the world's creator, Emu, has Nami as a descendant. But wait, could the Nerona family, related to Emu, actually exist in the Oykot Kingdom, or even the lower realms? That's a burning question, isn't it? Let's get into the nitty-gritty and explore this possibility by examining three key elements. 1. The difference between celestial dragons with unique speech patterns and those without. 2. The current status of the Nerona family apart from Emu. And 3. The possibility of becoming a celestial dragon from being a human. Let's break it down one by one. First up, the difference between celestial dragons with unique speech patterns and those without. Celestial dragons, descendants of the original 20 who imagined this world, can now be categorized into two groups. Take St. Carlos, for example, saying things like Mufufun and Carulia, even Father, where did you go leaving me behind? The first category includes those who end their sentences with a or de, who use wachiki as a first-person pronouns. Those like St. Carlos and St. Roswald with sport-unique hairdos resembling top knots, typically celestial dragon. Similarly, celestial dragons with a distinctive way of speaking Emu, who also use the special first-person nu and second-person nuzia. Then there's the second category, like the Five Elders or St. Garling from God's Knights without any speech quirks. So what's behind the difference? The Don Quixote family gives us a clue. Take St. Don Quixote Homing, who chose to become a human, and St. Don Quixote Mosgard, inspired by Queen Otohime of Ryukyu Kingdom to do the same. After becoming human, their speech lost the typical celestial dragon quirks of ending sentences with e or using washiki. It seems when they believed themselves to be gods, their speech had these quirks. But recognizing themselves as human, their speech normalized. This is also evident in the five elders, who likely know Imu's true identity and don't consider themselves gods, hence their regular way of speaking. The same goes for the Knights of God, who probably know Imu's identity. From this, we can deduce that a celestial dragon's speech is linked to their self-perception as gods. And regular celestial dragons, like St. Carlos with their distinct speech, thinks they are the god. Probably they don't know about the true creator, Imu. Now, let's tackle the second element, the current state of the Nerona family, excluding Imu. We've explored the possibility that most celestial dragons, aside from the Knights of God and the five elders, might not even be of Imu's existence. So what about the people of the Nerona family, Imu's own bloodline? Are they just living in Marijois, oblivious to Imu's existence like regular celestial dragons? The conclusion can be said that no one from the Nerona family is in Marijois. If the Nerona family spawns a deity-like figure, Imu, it wouldn't be far-fetched to assume they'd hold some special status among celestial dragons. Yet, in chapter 1086, when the names of the five elders were mentioned, not a single one carried the Nerona surname. Moreover, the supreme commander of the Knights of God hails from the Figurlin family. If there were Nerona family members in the Knights of God, they'd be subordinates to the Figurlins. It seems unlikely that relatives of Imu, an absolute authority, would serve under someone else. So, it's plausible they're not part of the Knights of God either. If any Nerona family members did survive as celestial dragons, it's most likely they're living as ordinary ones without any power. But think about it. If there were Nerona family members among ordinary celestial dragons, it's weird they haven't tried to usurp Imu's position or keep his existence a secret due to their blood connection. In fact, for the secrecy and safety of Imu's position, having Nerona family members around would be risky and inconvenient. Considering Imu's existence is known to very few, and he has reigned for over 800 years, it suggests that Imu has completely eliminated such risks. Therefore, I speculate that the Nerona family members might have been eradicated from Marijois. Let's dive into the final element, the possibility of transforming from a human to a celestial dragon. If the Nerona family members are no longer in Marijois, we're left with a puzzle. The number of royal families among the celestial dragons is said to be 19. How does that add up if the Neronas are gone? The hints to this conundrum lie in the words of King Sterry in chapter 905 and Vegapunk York in chapter 1078. I want connections to the nobility. Someday I want to become a celestial dragon. King Sterry. Hey Stella, you know what? I'm going to become a celestial dragon. York. Notice that King Sterry expresses a desire, while York talks about a future certainty. Neither Garp nor Vegapunk Stella dismisses their statements as impossible. This, coupled with Ivankov's remarks about immorality in chapter 1086, leads us to an intriguing possibility. Somewhere in this world, there might be a family that has indeed transformed from human to celestial dragon and proven it. Now, you might think marrying a celestial dragon could be a ticket to becoming one, but considering St. Carlos discarded his wife back to being a human the moment he got bored, it's probably not that simple. In chapter 1086, Ivankov mentions 800 years ago in this world of chaos, there was a king among the original 20. From the Nerona family, the Saint Imu. Also, Ivankov and Cobra King seems aware of Imu's existence, having learned about it from texts. The book Ivankov shows Sabo appears to have the word Genesis inscribed on it. Genesis, meaning the origin or creation, likely refers to a text about the 20 people who crafted the book. This book could be similar to the book of Genesis in the Bible, the world's most widely read book. It wouldn't be surprising if Genesis held a similar stature in the world of OnePiece. Let's hypothesize that Genesis details a family that replaced the Neronas as celestial dragons. That would explain why figures like King Sterry and Vegapunk York harbor aspirations to become celestial dragons. So, Here's a possible past. 800 years ago, when the world government was established, Imu, to protect his position in secrecy, turned the entire Nerona family into humans and exiled them. A new royal family was chosen to replace them as celestial dragons in Marijois. All these events are documented in Genesis, and those who've read it know that becoming a celestial dragon is possible. This way, any trace of the Nerona family and Saint Imu's existence could be erased, ensuring Imu's safety. Imu has reigned for 800 years without his existence being known. The absence of Nerona family members in special positions and the existence of people aspiring to become celestial dragons, all the pieces start to fit. From the connection between Imu, the celestial dragons, and Nami, to the enigmatic aspects of the Nerona family, it's plausible that the descendants of the Nerona family, blood relatives of Imu, were turned into humans after the Void Century. And one of those descendants could very well be Nami. Imagine if Nami is a descendant of the Nerona family. That would mean she's related to Imu, the so-called god and creator of the world. This revelation could unravel many mysteries about Nami. 1. Her connection to Anne, a character from a one-shot story considered to be Nami's prototype. 2. The enigma of the war in Oykot, her birthplace. 3. Her exceptional weather-related abilities. 4. Her control over Zeus, being named after an almighty god. 5. Hints that she might possess the Conqueror's Haki. These pieces fall into place beautifully. Let's speculate that Nami's weather-related powers and her potential Haki come from the Nerona bloodline. This could be key to uncovering the full extent of Imu's powers. Currently, many believe Imu possesses Zoan-type devil fruit powers. But if Nami's abilities are a gift from the Nerona blood, it suggests that Imu's powers might be inherent to their bloodline, making it possible that Imu isn't a devil fruit user. Moreover, even in distant seas you are born, the whales rejoice the day the two kings will meet again, Sea Kings. The Sea Kings in chapter 968 hinted at a reunion of two kings, which many assume to be Shirahoshi and Luffy. But Luffy isn't a born king, nor does he come from a royal lineage. So could the two kings refer to Nami and Shirahoshi, both potentially bearing Imu's blood? Now, you might wonder, if Nami is of Nerona descent, could she end up opposing the Straw Hats? I believe Nami will stand with Luffy and his crew. Consider this. 800 years ago, Queen Lily, who was part of the Allied Nations, might have betrayed them, and she also bore the initial D. So, Nami, with Nerona blood, could join forces with Luffy, confronting Imu, the descendant of their common enemy, in a final showdown. The era could shift from Joey Boy to Luffy, and from Imu to his kin, Nami. Nami, a descendant of Imu who ruled the world for centuries after the Void Century. Luffy inheriting the will of Joy Boy, opposing that rule. Their union could mark the true end of a conflict that's lasted over 900 years.
Today I'm itching to delve deep into the shocking truth behind the awakening of the Hana-Hana fruit and explore why Robin has become the target of the Five Elders. We find ourselves thrust into a tense scenario where Nico Robin's unique ability to decipher the poneglyphs clashes with the complex machinations of the Five Elders. Furthermore, what exactly does the awakening of the Hana-Hana fruit signify, and how does it steer Robin towards a certain fate? I've got some fresh insight to share with you all. I'll also be digging deep into the significant foreshadowings and potential developments in the upcoming storyline, highlighted by the differing opinions among the Five Elders. In this video, I'll be elaborating on this intriguing theme in detail. If you enjoy this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And hey, if I skipped over your favorite scene during the discussion, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Note that this video contains spoilers up to the latest episode, so proceed with caution. Now let's dive right in. As you know, Nico Robin is the sole survivor of O'Hara and the only person in the world capable of deciphering the poneglyphs. Consequently, the world government has placed a hefty bounty on her, enticing not only pirates, but also civilians from all walks of life to try and capture her. For 20 long years, Robin has lived a harsh fate, joining various organizations only to witness their downfall. But now, as a member of the Straw Hat crew, she's finally able to live her life to the fullest, dedicating her abilities to help Luffy become the Pirate King. In Chapter 1028, we see a member of CP0 stationed on Onigashima relay a message to Rob Lucci. The message? Apprehend Nico Robin. Even as Kaido and Big Mom were clashing, setting aside the outcome of that battle, the directive was clear: to capture Robin, who is undoubtedly a significant key for future events. Given that the order wasn't to eliminate her, it seems they intend to take her alive, don't you think? I'm also curious about who exactly issued this command. Fast forward to chapter 1037, we finally hear the 5 elders themselves stating outright that Nico Robin must be eliminated. While this snippet alone doesn't give us a full picture, it confirms that such thoughts exist among the 5 elders. Whether this was an order from Imu-sama remains unclear, but it definitely piques our interest, doesn't it? What caught my attention in the conversation of the 5 elders was the possibility that there seems to be a disagreement in opinions among them. To explain what I mean, I'll bring this up again, but let's take a look back at this statement one more time. It is time to take action. Nico Robin must have been caught by now. If it's a battle between Kaido and Big Mom, it wouldn't be strange for anyone to die. We should eliminate them. In this segment, there are 2 speech bubbles, and it seems like they are said by 2 different individuals. One is saying they should capture her, and the other is saying they should eliminate her. Firstly, the natural thought process for the side wanting to capture is to utilize Robin's ability to decipher the poneglyphs, because it can lead to the revival of an entity known as the Ancient Weapon. Throughout the story so far, the existence of the Ancient Weapon has been whispered among people quite persistently. Basically, the location is indicated on the poneglyphs, and by deciphering them, the location can be identified and revived. This is a path it has set. Therefore, whether it's the world government or the 5 elders, no one has been able to seize control of the Ancient Weapon. This is because they have not been able to decipher the poneglyphs. So they want to capture Robin to use her ability to decipher the poneglyphs, identify the location, revive it, make it our power, and conquer the world. Considering this premise, it is natural that Robin must be alive, right? Then we ponder why there emerged a faction that wants to eliminate her. This might be connected to the awakening of Robin's Hana-Hana fruit abilities. This is it. Later in the conversation among the 5 elders, this kind of dialogue happened. No, it's impossible. That fruit has been legendary even to us. It hasn't awakened in hundreds of years. This time, let's assume that the devil fruit mentioned here is a Hana-Hana fruit. Of course, there are other possible fruits, but I would like you to forget about that for now. If it is a Hana-Hana fruit, the awakening of this ability is too dangerous. Hence, they want to eliminate it. Could this be the case? For instance, as the 5 elders said, let's assume that the Hana-Hana fruit won't awaken anymore. That would be a legendary event, and at the current moment it's deemed that awakening won't happen, they had concluded. If they were concocting various plans to use Robin, the discussion would naturally proceed with her being captured alive. But so far the battle's involving Robin. And in the battle against Black Maria at Onigashima, Robin's new power blossomed. It is a technique called Demonia Fleur. This was witnessed by the Marys, and let's suppose it was relayed to the 5 elders through CP0. If the awakening of the Hana-Hana fruit is what the 5 elders feared, they might have thought it better to reset once by disposing of Robin. Weighing the ability of the poneglyphs on a scale, it seems like a difference in opinion on what benefits us more has emerged among the 5 elders. Certainly, the ability Robin has been using up until now involves various parts of her own body. She can bloom it anywhere, regardless of whether it is organic or inorganic material. Furthermore, after 2 years, she elevated her ability to create a clone of herself. She has become capable of using it more powerfully by blossoming her entire body as such. During the battle at Onigashima, thanks to the Dominion Fleur, she transformed into a figure embodying a demon. She manifested a physique as big as a giant and used a powerful joint technique to defeat Black Maria. What caught everyone's attention was why she transformed into a demon. Many readers speculated that this might be due to the original devil fruit. Others hypothesize that it might be because she harbors a demon that existed in ancient times. Therefore, if Robin's Hana-Hana fruit could embody that demon, it would be incredibly powerful, or so the discussion went. Besides the connection with the demon, what I've contemplated a bit is, for instance, currently what Robin blossoms are physical or corporeal entities, right? So when she awakens, what if she could also bloom the information and memories inside her head? Wouldn't that be a strong ability? To be able to bloom the experience and knowledge that Robin has. To be able to bloom such memory information to others. For instance, like being able to share it with everyone specified. This would be tremendous if everyone who could share the information could decipher the poneglyphs. She could propagate ideologies to everyone by sharing all the information about the ancient weapons at once. Essentially, it would be kind of like a brainwashing, implanting shared thoughts into everyone. It seems like it would become an immensely powerful ability to dominate instantly. Therefore, if such a conceptual awakening method exists, it might be something the five elders want to capture. Or perhaps it's one of the reasons they want to eliminate it. Even in the past arc of Ahara, Dr. Clover mentioned that what the world government fears are the existence and ideology of a certain great kingdom. Therefore, this existence becomes clear through deciphering through the poneglyphs. And furthermore, the ideology can be propagated through the awakening of the abilities of the Hana-Hana fruit. If this trend exists, it might suddenly overturn the world situation. There might be a situation where the world is turned upside down. I presume Luffy would be the one to do this. Joining him, Robin can also spread the ideology of the clan of D. If she can assist in this, the awakening of the abilities of the Hana-Hana fruit might possibly be related to memory.
Today, let's dive deep into the astonishing evolution of the Straw Hat crew and explore Luffy's mysterious abilities. From their early formation to the present, the Straw Hat crew has undergone unpredictable development through numerous adventures and battles. Luffy himself has changed his ability from the Gum Gum fruit to the human fruit, Model Nika, significantly impacting his fighting style. Let's explore together how these developments might affect the outcome as we move towards the final chapter. If you find the considerations introduced in this video interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you have other thoughts about Luffy's new abilities, please share your opinions in the comments. Be aware this video contains spoilers up to the latest episode. Now, without further ado, let's get started. First up, the captain of the Straw Hat crew, Luffy. He, initially a user of the Gum Gum fruit, and now the human fruit mythical type Model Nika, defeated numerous enemies in the East Blue with his ability and trained physical strength. Facing formidable foes like Aokiji made him think about how to utilize his abilities in battle. Luffy, always adventurously barging onto islands, surprisingly uses his head quite a bit in combat. In Enies lobby, he unleashed new techniques like Gear 2 and Gear 3. After 2 years of training, he mastered Haki and learned to control Conqueror's Haki. In Dressrosa, Gear 4 made its debut, and in Whole Cake Island, he awakened Observation Haki, allowing him to see a few seconds into the future, just like Katakuri. In Wano Country, he learned attacks like Ryu and learned how to code his attacks with Conqueror's Haki. But then the Gum Gum fruit awakened and Gear 5 was introduced. Looking back, Luffy's evolution is at a breathtaking pace. But since he mentioned Gear 5 being at its peak, is this his final form? There's a possibility, but since not much time has passed since Gear 5 awakened, it's theorized that he will become even stronger. Currently, while influencing the surroundings with Rubber and primarily attacking with Rubber's rebound, it's also thought he may activate Gear 4 while in Gear 5. Indeed, considering how Luffy has evolved while strategizing, he seems likely to get even stronger while utilizing the state of Gear 5. It would be fascinating to see him move things around freely and launch direct attacks like Doflamingo or Katakuri. I'm excited to see what techniques will be introduced in the Egghead incident. Next up, let's chat about Straw Hat Crew's swordsman, Zoro. He's a swordsman of the three sword style, originally fighting with Wara Ichimonji, Sandai Kitsutsu, and Yubashiri. But along the way, he lost Yubashiri and obtained Shusui instead. Now, he's returned Shusui in Wano Country and has bequeathed Emma in its place. He was defeated by Mihawk in the East Blue, but he swore to Luffy that he would never lose again. From there, he's become so strong, employing iron breathing and aerial slashes, that he can make opponents see illusions with his sheer will. Zoro has powered up considerably, hasn't he? The 2-year training period where he was trained by Mihawk. Afterwards, he also became a master ornament haki, disabling a Logia user with just his will and cleanly bisecting a giant stone statue of Pika with a single stroke. In Wano country, he's learned to use Kinemon's Foxfire style and has even wounded Kaido with Inma. During his battle with King, he even manifested Conqueror's Haki. There had been speculation about Zoro having Conqueror's Haki, so the moment it was confirmed was absolutely chilling. Will Zoro's final form be Awakening? His single eye, which has not been much touched upon so far, is speculated to awaken in a tight spot, evolving his technique. Furthermore, like Luffy learning to cloak his attacks with Conqueror's Haki, Zoro is theorized to also learn to cloak his swords with it. Still shrouded in mystery, he also seems to meet the criteria to make all 3 of his swords Black Blade, and the day he becomes the greatest swordsman by making all 3 swords Black Blades seems near. The anticipation for his rematch with Mihawk, his mentor, and possibly becoming a true greatest swordsman is too exciting. Moving on to Nami, the navigator of the Straw Hat crew. Nami, who feels the erratic weather of the Grand Line in her very skin, is an excellent navigator, but originally fought with just a single club. Thinking about it now, that's quite something. Her weapon has evolved thanks to Usopp. Initially a party trick, the Clima Tact, which creates mirages and lightning by exploiting the weather. The perfect Clima Tact, incorporating dials from Skypiea. Getting stronger with sorcery Clima Tact, crafted with Usopp's pop greens and Frankie's surface processing technology. In Wano country, Zeus, created by Big Mom's power, has entered the sorcery Clima Tact. In doing so, she's obtained a lightning attack like nothing she's had before. What about Nami's final form? Awakening of the Conqueror's Haki, maybe? You remember well. From the black lightning depicted when she got angry in chapter 1058, and Jinbei says Conqueror's Haki, it's theorized that Nami might actually awaken Conqueror's Haki. Of course, it might be a joke, but it would be shocking if it were foreshadowing. Since obtaining Zeus, it's speculated that she might control the weather even more than Big Mom. Indeed, with Nami, well versed in weather phenomena, gaining Zeus, there seems to be a possibility of causing climatic changes that affect the surroundings. Up next, we're diving into the Straw Hat Crew's sniper, Usopp. His dad, Yasopp, is a sniper for the red-haired pirates. And maybe it's in the genes because Usopp's got a crack shot too. When he first showed off by shooting a cannon, he nailed it in one and even surprised himself. He's brought down numerous enemies with his slingshot, no guns needed. During his 2-year training period, he learned about pop greens on the Boyne Archipelago, and integrating them into his slingshot massively upgraded his arsenal. In Dressrosa, his observation haki blossomed, sensing the shape of people far beyond visual range and nailing them with accurate shots. He got dubbed God Usopp, and his luck in gaining followers does kind of remind you of Buggy, doesn't it? So what's the speculation about Usopp's final form? It's thought that he'll further awaken his observation haki. Actually, in Film Red, there was a scene where he shared his field of vision with Yasopp using observation haki. From that, it seems like he might learn to see a few seconds into the future like Luffy. Since it hasn't been precisely depicted in the main story, gaining the ability to see the future would synergize really well with his sniping, wouldn't it? Moreover, meeting Vegapunk might also enhance his slingshot. True, the pop greens have been adapted and strengthened, but the firing speed does not compare to a gun. So, if it becomes more compact and the firing speed increases, it'd be quite a powerful weapon. Also, in chapter 1024, when enemies fell due to Big Mom's Conqueror's haki, he bluffed with a lie saying, "You can't maintain consciousness in front of me without a full resolve." But since several Usopp's life have come true before, speculation has it that the Conqueror's haki lie might also become reality. Since people naturally followed him in Dressrosa, it seems like he has the potential. Looking forward to that unexpected final form. Next up, let's talk about the Straw Hat Crew's cook, Sanji. Inheriting Zeph's kick techniques and adhering to a code of not kicking women, Sanji has grown strong. In Eni's lobby, he cloaked his legs in orange flames, learning a kick technique so powerful it melts bones. The battle in Annie's lobby arc was electrifying. During his 2-year training, his leg strength enhanced to the point where he could kick through air and water. His past as a prince born into Germa 66 was revealed, and the scientific power of the raid suit came into focus. In Wano country, he saved the day more than once while wearing the Sanji-specific raid suit passed to him unknowingly by Niji. Plus, wearing the raid suit activated his exoskeleton due to lineage factors, granting him a body so sturdy it breaks swords. His leg strength also got a boost, unleashing kick techniques enveloped in even hotter blue flames. Although Sanji already seems pretty complete in his strength, what kind of final form could there be? Firstly, there's speculation that his flame color will evolve into black flames. Sanji has the nickname Blackleg, but the reason for this alias has not been clearly depicted. So it's speculated that enveloping his legs in black flames might resolve the alias's foreshadowing. Indeed, that'd be an interesting development considering the mystery of the Blackleg nickname. Also, a perpetual theme with Sanji is becoming invisible, right? True, he did fulfill his dream of invisibility with the raid suit, didn't he? He momentarily achieved it, but to perpetually peep into the woman's bath? No. To perpetually protect his friends, the power of invisibility is needed. So it's thought that instead of making it look like he's vanished by moving at high speed, he'll actually gain the power to become invisible. Speaking of which, in Egghead, Vegapunk showed off technology to disappear like Invisible Man. If that's the case, there could also be a development where Sanji, who has connections with Judge, gains the technology or ability to become invisible. Next up, we have the Straw Hat Crew's doctor, Chopper. Originally just a reindeer, Chopper gained intelligence and the ability to understand and speak human language after eating the human-human fruit. The human-human fruit is quite the mysterious devil fruit, isn't it? Chopper studied medicine under Hiluluk and Kuriha and developed the Rumble Ball, which disrupts the wavelength of zone-type users, allowing him to increase his transformation forms. As a result, he's also managed to boost his combat powers. After 2 years of training, he could transform freely into any form, except his giant one, without using the Rumble Ball. Moreover, in Wano country, he's extended the giant form duration from his Rumble Ball to 30 minutes, utilizing Caesar's advice. The speculation for Chopper's final form is an awakening of the zone type. Awakening of the zone type can be dangerous as it often involves absorbing personalities, but what kind of awakening could it be? Being the human-human fruit, it's thought that it could be a form closer to a human, or a giant monster-like form without needing the Rumble Ball. He used to dream of being a human, but he said he'd even become a monster for Luffy, so both seem like foreshadowings. Given the mystery surrounding the human-human fruit, there's keen interest in Chopper's final form. Next, we'll introduce Straw Hat Crew's archaeologist, Robin. She's a user of the flower fruit, able to sprout parts of her body like blooms. She specialized in grappling techniques using sprouted arms. But after 2 years of training under the Revolutionary Army, she's developed the ability to sprout even more limbs and use them for giant hand and foot attacks. She's even evolved to the point of creating a duplicate of herself. In Wano country, it's revealed that she was taught Fishman karate by Koala in the Revolutionary Army. The increase in techniques that involved spreading her palms was influenced by Fishman karate. That was a shocking revelation. She's also unveiled a giant devil-like form, the Demonio Fleur, for her grappling techniques. Robin's final form speculation involves this Demonio Fleur, and since it was depicted as a black silhouette, it's thought that she'll master Armament Haki. The larger she becomes, the easier she becomes a target for attacks, and damage to the limbs she creates with her ability also harms Robin herself. So Armament Haki does seem necessary. The combination of Armament Haki and Fishman Karate has proven its strength through Jinbei, so it's speculated that Robin might become as strong as Jinbei. The foreshadowing with her nickname, Devil Child, was thrilling, but there's also focus on the appearance of techniques further applying the Demonio Fleur. Next, let's introduce the Straw Hat Crew's shipwright, Frankie. After a collision with the sea train, Frankie performed self-modification surgery on his injured body, attaining a robust physique. He's a cyborg human with rockets and weapons incorporated into his body. During his 2-year training period, he found research materials in future land Baltimore, where Vegapunk spent his childhood and learned Vegapunk's knowledge. Then he applied it to his own body and weapons to become even stronger. Moreover, thanks to the new shape memory alloy Wappo metal created by Wappo, he built the giant robot Frankie Shogun. Frankie, who has fully replicated even Admiral Kizaru's laser beam that was also mounted on the Pacifista and Seraphim, what kind of final form is anticipated for him? Firstly, it's thought that meeting his idol, Vegapunk, will enhance his weaponry. Weapons depicted by Vegapunk have probably only been depicted a little, but with the appearance of a beam saber and a bubble gun effective against devil fruit users, it seems likely they'll be applied in Frankie's weaponry. True, Frankie Shogun's sword was broken, and his supposedly sturdy body has been pierced a few times by enemy attacks. Using Vegapunk's technological capabilities for further enhancements makes sense. And another speculation is that he becomes the ship itself. This involves the new bounty poster, but after the battle in Wano Country, Frankie's bounty posters became the Thousand Sunny for some reason. Frankie's bounty posters recently haven't featured him in person, have they? It could be taken as a joke, but since there was a foreshadowing with Sanji's bounty poster, it's thought that Frankie might actually become the ship. You thought it means living as a ship? Not exactly. The speculation is more like, through Frankie's modifications, the Thousand Sunny becomes a giant robot, which Frankie pilots, so in a sense, he becomes a ship. Since giant robots also appear in Egghead, it technically seems possible. You can imagine a future where Frankie pilots it, and Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper take turns nagging him to let them drive. Next up, let's talk about the Straw Hat Crew's musician, Brook. The Revive fruit allows him to come back to life just once after dying. Brook, who consumed the fruit, was able to revive due to his ability when he died during a past voyage. Having served as a captain of a certain kingdom's guard squad, he's also skilled in swordsmanship. You might think the Revive ability is a one-off, right? But during his 2 years of training, he realized the essence of the Revive fruit, allowing his soul to move independently through astral projection and to influence people's hearts by writing his soul on music. Moreover, his soul-solid sword, sharpened by the Long Arm tribe, can emit the chill of the underworld, enabling him to unleash ice-based attacks. He made notable contributions in Wano Country with the power of the chill of the underworld, but what speculations are there for his final form? Firstly, there's a speculation that he'll be able to freeze an even wider area with his chill of the underworld. If he can envelop people entirely in an attack, like Aokiji's Ice fruit, it might dilute the abilities of the Ice fruit. So freezing a wide range does seem plausible. Another one is that with an awakened ability, he can allow the souls of the dead to possess and temporarily power him up. It does seem like a cheat tier awakening. In Thriller Bark, where Brook debuted, shadows were actually inserted to reproduce the battle styles of the shadow's original owner. So if this is a major foreshadowing and he becomes possessed by a soul through awakening, that would be a super hot development. Lastly, let's introduce the Straw Hat Crew's helmsman, Jinbei. Jinbei, possessing enough strength to become one of the 7 warlords of the sea, is also a master of the Fishman Karate and Fishman Jiu-Jitsu. Furthermore, his armament haki is strong, holding back an attack from Big Mom herself. He was blown away, yes, but he fought valiantly under the constraints of protecting the ship. With his foundational combat strength high and his armament haki quite potent, honestly, it's questionable whether he can get even stronger. So what could possibly be Jinbei's final form? Indeed, he's more than sufficiently strong, but scenes like Jinbei's clothing and phrases often remind us of Wano Country. So there's speculation that he'll acquire the Ryu that Luffy learned and apply it to his own attacks. With Ryu added to Jinbei's attack, that seems quite formidable. If combined with the Vagabond drill that blew Big Mom away, adding shockwaves and internal destruction, it looks like it would be tremendously powerful. Furthermore, it's said that when fishmen go all out, even ocean currents can change. Jinbei is speculated to gain the power to change ocean currents all by himself. Jinbei, making a significant impact in naval battles, would be cool, so we'd love to see this development. Even with their current formidable strength, it's exciting to look forward to each member of the Straw Hat Crew evolving a step further, showcasing new final forms as they head towards their ultimate battle. That's all for today. This channel posts summaries, explanations, and ranking videos related to One Piece. If you like One Piece, we would be happy if you could support us by subscribing to our channel and commenting. Thank you for watching till the end. See you in the next video.